quickly, young Kwahumani, so na Indi and Komo, na Afe, no Ian Twaso, Mavis Zupork Dome, Abba Humanis, were a research analyst with CDD Ghana, and Mavis ending Komokakani Misanum. What triggered this conversation in the first place? What triggered this report in the first place? Good morning, Mavis.
Good morning, and good morning, Sam, and good morning to your listeners.
I trust you're doing well this morning.
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking. So, I'm just trying to wrap my mind, around the issue of access to justice by these MSMEs. What would trigger CDD to want to delve into that sphere?
Oh, okay. So, the one is we are a think tank and we do a lot of work through a lot of our advocacy through research. And one of the areas that we do research around is economic development as well as rule of law, access to rule of law. And when you look at rule of law in broad, you can think about all the policies, legislation, and as well as access to justice and all that. So this, yes, we most people know our traditional way of research, public opinion and other things, but as I said as well, we do economic studies as well. So this is part of our economic development area and also our rule of law area. And we looking at this country, private sector really drives this country. There's a lot, particularly around medium, small, and micro enterprise. They really drive our country. And we wanted to understand in the context of they driving this country, what then is their experiences with accessing justice and public services. In reading around, we realized that, yes, there are always a lot of studies that document their challenges in running their business and all that, but not particularly their access to public and justice services. Those ones usually they'll focus on the bigger institutions, bigger businesses than the smaller businesses. So we veered into the smaller businesses to document such experiences.
Share with us some of your findings.
Right. So I think that the findings that you would most interested in, I guess, is the taxation, since you're talking about taxation. But before I go to taxation, a majority of SMMEs, that's medium, small, and micro enterprises, do know that they are to register their business, have a business name, and operate under the name, and they are to renew it. And also they are to get an operating permit from the assembly within which they operate. And majority have also reported that they have done this. So, and when we look at in terms of why those who said they haven't said that it's because they don't know about these mandates that they are supposed to do this. Now, when it also comes to taxation, they do agree that the tax authorities, and if you look at Ghana, predominantly GRA and then the assemblies have the authority to demand taxes from them. Majority as 82% says that. However, if you look at whether they think it is easy to find out how much taxes they are expected to pay, a majority again, that's about 8 in 10, says that no, it is not easy to find out the tax they are expected to pay. Neither is it easy to find out what the government and then the their assemblies, their assemblies that they operate within. Neither is it easy for them to find out what their tax revenue is being used for. And this will inform that they are thinking around the fact that a majority of them, 6 in 10, also thought that they are not willing to pay taxes for more services. And if you look at they not knowing what their tax is being used for and how easy it is to access what they are expected to pay, then it informs that. Equally, a majority say that they do submit their tax return. And also they feel there's also a majority that feel that the tax that they pay are high.
Now, the point about the 62% who are unwilling to pay, these taxes for more services, did they give you reasons? Because if it has to do with roads, if it has to do with medical facilities, we see them. What reasons did they give specifically for the unwillingness to pay these taxes?
Okay, so if you look at when you ask them about whether they are satisfied with the services that they get from paying tax, you would see that there are a significant minority that say they are not satisfied with the tax that they pay. And also, if you look at whether they think the tax is high, you would see that you would notice that a majority of them do feel that the tax that they pay is high. So if I already feel that the tax that I pay is high, then it goes without saying that I would not I will not be willing. So it correlates in as much as 67%. So that's almost 7 in 10 says that their tax and fees are too much, right? So if you take this and compare to the 62 who said they will not pay more taxes, even if it meant more services, it correlates. It tells you that, well, my tax is already high. Why would I be paying high? And then also a significant minority are not really satisfied with the services that they see, the hospitals, or that they see around in terms of these
facilities. All right. Now, there's a very important one, which has to do with the 78% who say that they think that it's not easy to access information on taxes and fees that are levied on them. What does this mean for government's attempts to generate revenue if the people who are supposed to pay these taxes don't have access to information about these taxes? All right, unfortunately...
I couldn't hear you. I kept saying hello, sorry.
Yeah, Mavis, I was asking about the 78% who made the point that they do not have access to information about these taxes and fees that they are made to pay. What does it mean for our tax regime, our tax system, and revenue mobilization efforts?
Yes, they do say that it is not easy to find out. So it means a lot of things at the local level. How easy are these information disseminated to the public? Even though when we talk in our discussion with GRA, they did mention that they do hold information dissemination with these SMMEs, but the question is, what medium of communication do they use? You know, majority of these SMMEs do not necessarily have high education. And even we, those who are really educated, how much do we understand about taxations and taxing in this country in order to be able to understand in what, even if they came to bail us, what went into that bill? So that also informs a lot. And so this goes to explain some of these things, and they're not really they don't know where to access this information. And if you look at the assemblies also talk about how most SMMEs are not in groups, so it's difficult disseminating information even about fee fixing. So this goes to say that there's a lot to be done in that area, and so there should be like education on these things and education on where SMMEs can easily access such information. And sometimes during our field work, we notice that sometimes these SMEs do not even understand the difference between who is a GRA and who is the assembly. So you even doing the survey in a way, it's even educating them. They will understand, okay, then this is it. So that means that they don't even know the difference in even the taxes and levies that they are paying, and that makes it very difficult. And sometimes you go to a shop and you see a shop very small, and they will tell you that they came and charged me. I don't understand because my shop is so small. So if my shop is so small and there are limited number, let me speak my little trick. The way who how much charge me call on almost a menstrual letter ambra. Menstrual letter explain me. May then trust our letter. So it goes into a lot. A lot goes into they not being able to access such information and not willing to pay more taxes.
The final bit, which gets me worried a bit, which has to do with the access to justice services in the country, where your report says that 1/5 of these small medium scale enterprises do not use the formal justice system to resolve, their issues.
Business related.
Yes. And that 87 of them lack confidence or trust in the system.
Yes.
And the length of time that it takes for cases to be resolved in these courts is also a matter of concern to them.
Yes.
Now, give me a little bit of understanding into this aspect. What did you ask them?
Right. So we asked various questions. So first of all, if you have had any business dispute before, and among those who have had business dispute did say that they did not use the former system, and then we wanted to understand why they do not use the former system. So we did ask them why they did not seek redress from the former system. Sorry. From the former system. So with regards to that, then they did mention that they do not trust the police or law court, and then the court proceedings take a long time. And so if you look at that, then that is what explains the 87% saying they do not trust the law court. And if you take it to our just everyday life and our experiences with police and courts, it will explain these things that court proceedings take a long time, and so people would necessarily want to find other alternatives to resolve their disputes. For instance, the businesses explain that, well, me going to court, I lost time doing my business and I lost money doing my business. So because of that, time going to court is not easy. So it explains the time.
All right, Mavis, we are grateful you made time to join us this morning for us to have this conversation.
I'm sorry for the call. I am out of town and I think the hotel is calling me.
I understand. I understand. So that's Mavis for you. She's a research analyst with CDD Ghana.